Hey, all you cool cats and kittens and boils and ghouls. It's not Halloween. Um, but hey, I just was thinking about intuition, and I got a good story about intuition. Now, way back when we lived in Rockford, Illinois, which is, I can't say it on YouTube, but it's not a very nice place to live. High crime rate, and we had crime. We had a dead guy in the neighbor's driveway next door. It was the first place I lived where I was like actually seeing crime happen around me. Um, but yeah, not a good place to live. But we lived there, and I worked at a college, and my wife worked at the same college, and we spent a lot of time together. We'd drive to and from work, and we'd go to lunch together and all that good stuff. One day we're driving home, and she goes, "Randy, I'm pregnant." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "I'm pregnant." And I said, "Oh, did you miss a period? Did you take a test, or what happened?" She says, "No, I just know I'm pregnant. I'm not, my period's not due. I haven't taken a test. I just know I'm pregnant." And she goes, "By the way, it's with twins." I'm like, "Okay. Why don't we hold off a little bit and take a pregnancy test, and we'll go from there." So we waited a little bit till she missed her period, and kind of knew at that point. She took the test. She was pregnant. She goes, "It's twins." The whole time she's like, "I'm having twins. I can't believe I'm having twins." I'm like, "Don't get your hopes up. Twins are rare. Twins don't run in either one of our families. Um, Natural twins, happen like once every 100, 150 pregnancies, something like that." Um, but she swore she had twins, and we're like, "Okay," and we make the prenatal appointment, and they determined she was pregnant, and it was too early for a heartbeat. So we go back. I don't know, I think of like a month later, and we're going to this little clinic in our neighborhood, and they do an ultrasound. They're like, "Yep, we can hear the heartbeat. It's nice and strong. Everything's healthy. Everything's good." And she's like, "No, there's twins. There's got to be a second heartbeat." And they like listen. They're like, "No, there's no second heartbeat. There's only one heartbeat." And she's like getting all down. So in the next couple of weeks, she's like, "Just I know there's twins. I don't want something to happen to one of the twins. I feel bad." I would say, she was upset that there was only one heartbeat. So there was like a month or two in between, and she's like, "I know I'm having twins. I don't know why there was only one heartbeat." And we go in, and they're doing the ultrasound, and they're like, "There's two heartbeats." She's like, "I knew it." And at that point, the clinic's like, "We don't handle twins. You got to go to the main hospital." Um, but yeah, it was like, "Yeah, you're having twins," and it turned out we had twins. Um, and she kept saying it was a boy and a girl, boy and a girl. And she said, "But if it's two boys, because we already had a boy and a girl, we wanted another girl." So I'm like, "Oh, that's going to be a fifth kid." So the doctor's telling us all along it's two boys, it's two boys. And she's like, "If it's two boys, I want to try again for a girl." And I'm like, "Okay." And we're in the delivery room. It's a C-section. We just went into one of the appointments one day, and the doctor's like, "Hey, you want to have your baby today?" And we're like, "Hey, sure, why not?" They said, "Yeah, you're going to need a C-section." She wasn't in any pain. I'm not sure what the catalyst of that was, but yeah, we went in. We had the C-section, and first one comes out, and they're like, "It's a boy," and they hold it up. And the first two kids we had were in a military hospital. It was me, my wife, the doctor, and a nurse. Only four people in the delivery room. So this one here is different. This was a civilian hospital. There were so many people that I was pushed back into a corner and could barely move. There was a team of doctors for each twin, and I mean like doctors and nurses, and a team of doctors for Marcy. So that's three teams in there, plus a team on anesthetic, and I can't remember who all the other people were. But yeah, there must have been 30 people in this room. And I'm just like, oh. So they hold one baby up, and they're like, "Boy!" And the one team takes it, rushes out of the room, and they're working on the next one. And they hold it up, and they go, "Girl!" We're like, "Woo, got a girl." But all along they told us it was two boys. But the point is, like, she knew she was pregnant with twins before she knew she was pregnant. And that's something I believe in. I believe in this intuition. And I think there's something where like people detect things, but their brain don't tell them they're detecting things. Like if someone's acting off, you don't know they're acting off. They might be acting perfectly normal, but you're like, something off about this person today. And turns out, maybe there was a death in the family or something. But you notice that. And sometimes you don't notice that. Sometimes you might be sitting at your desk going, wait, I don't know how I know this, but I think there was a death in their family. And then, a day later you find out, oh yeah, there was a death in their family. And you're like, how did I know that? Because they were acting off, but your conscious brain didn't tell you that. And, and I believe that dreams is a way for your unconscious to kind of process all the things that detected during the day that you didn't detect, that it didn't tell your conscious brain. So, like if you dream, oh, hey, neighbor's house caught fire, maybe you smelled something or noticed something during the day that your conscious brain didn't pick up, and, the next day their house burns down. You're like, oh, I dreamed that their house burned down, but, yeah, it's something, you noticed something the day before. And I believe this happens. And I believe the same thing happens when you're looking at, like, and I don't think this happens for everybody. I think there's like certain people that are just hyper observant and their brain just kind of washes it out. For instance, some of you may not know this, but each eye has a blind spot. And your brain edits out the blind spot. It literally will fill in the blind spot. But if you close one eye, there's patterns you can get online. You close one eye, you stare at the center of the pattern, and your blind spot will become apparent after a few seconds. And like a part of the pattern will disappear, and you'll be like, "There's my blind spot." But until it like disappears, your brain is filling in until it can't fill in no more, and then it disappears. So yeah, your brain does stuff without you knowing it, believe it or not. And it's weird because I've been seeing a doctor for some medical issues, and I'm having nerve damage and muscle damage, and I noticed the other day I had this dream that I was at a flea market in a wheelchair, and the whole dream was me in the wheelchair doing stuff, dream stuff. And when I woke up, I thought, you know what? The last couple dreams I've had, I've been in a wheelchair. So I'm like, is my brain telling me something? I believe that. One time I dreamed I was in a sword fight, and I got stabbed in the stomach. And I woke up and I had sharp pains in my stomach, and I'm like, okay, my dream was trying to tell me, hey, there's something going on, wake up. And, I woke up and like my stomach was in a knot and there's a lot of pain there. And like, that's where I was stabbed in my dream. So yeah, your dreams kind of go along with this, and they help you, if you dream something and it feels like, hey, that dream just felt like it meant something, try to apply it to your life. Say, okay, last night I dreamt that I did something embarrassing in front of a big group of people. And you're like, today I got to give a speech in front of the people at work, and maybe that was my brain's way of just saying, okay, it's all right. If you embarrass yourself, if you do something, it's all right. Just keep going. So your brain was picking up on, yeah, you're nervous about this speech you got to give, and so it was trying to show you ways not to be nervous. It was consoling itself. But yeah, I believe like if you take a dream, you just apply it. Don't try to be prophetic about it. Don't try to apply it to the future, but just say, okay, how is this applied to what I've been living? If you dream you're in a car accident, maybe you've been driving recklessly and your brain's kind of going, hey, you better reel it in a little bit, drive a little bit better. It's little things like that you got to pay attention to. And that's why I'll be looking at a code and I can't get nothing, and I'll have a dream where things add up, or things do this or things do that, and I'll wake up and I'll be like, hey, that kind of applies to this code I was thinking about. Let me try that, and I might get somewhere with things. I wish I could say that happened in the treasure trove, but in the treasure trove I was just like, I'm looking, and then you can see the whole picture because it was a whole page picture, and I'm like, there's something off with this part of the picture. There's something, my brain kept telling me there's something about this part of the picture. And I finally worked out, okay, there's 5 colors. And, if you got 5 colors, that's probably be a square. And I started adding the colors together, and then I solved it, But just for the longest time, each page I would look at, I would like something off here, and I'd look at the next page. Oh yeah, there's something off here, and it turns out those were the parts where the codes were hidden. So pay attention to your brain. That's just one of the little quirks I have. I dream vividly, very vividly. I can remember color. I remember touching stuff. I mean, I just have these super, super vivid dreams, and I wake up and when I wake up, because you'll forget your dreams because it's not written to your short-term memory. So I'll wake up and I'll go through the dream again before it's gone, and then it goes into my memory. Because if I just wake up and I'm like, oh, that was a cool dream, and I don't think about it, it fades and I forget about it. And I can't remember what it was. But if I wake up and I replay the dream in my head, and that way it played while I was awake, and then I remember it, then I could think about it and be like, huh, maybe what was that telling me? What was that trying to tell me? But yeah, just little things like that, you got to pay attention to it. So if you're looking at something and you're like, hey, there's something not quite right here, and your brain is like, every time you scan a page and everything looks normal, but this one part just kind of stands out. Like in, I've seen it in TV shows. I think it was Psych or some of the others, where they'll show a scene and like one part of the scene will like slowly go out of focus, and you're like, oh, that's the part you need to pay attention to. It's not that vivid, but it could be just something that's like, all these leaves don't look right. And, that's what something is. And just like when I look at whatchamacallit, the one picture YouTube channel, I can never remember her name. Anyway, the one picture that's a code, and I look at it, I'm like, okay, there was something, and I made a video about it. I'm like, there's something, these letters were changed at one point because the pixels are different than the other pixels, and my brain caught that at first, and I didn't notice it till I downloaded the PDF and like magnified it, and you're like, yeah, these parts were changed after this picture was made, and it's really apparent, like when you look at the picture of the letters that have pictures on them, and you can see the pictures are like dark and sharp, and the letters got like a little bit of a blur. You can look around and say, oh yeah, there's different pictures. Naomi Speck, Naomi Speck, or her first name is like a different spelling. Everyone says Naomi, but it's not. But yeah, if you look at that, and if you download the PDF and look closely, it's like, no, there's something off on these, and I don't know. I know when I make a code, the first time there's usually a mistake in it, so I got to go through and figure it all out again. Maybe they looked at it and they were troubleshooting, or not troubleshooting, but proofreading, and was like, oh wait, this has to be this, and changed it. But you can tell that it was changed after the picture was made. But little things like that, pay attention to them. Another thing I would like to say is watch out for scams like this. I saw this at a garage sale for like 50 cents. I thought, oh, that's cool. It just seemed like it had possibilities, so I bought it. If you look up the name of stuff, it's Arbitel brand products plate. These are currently sold on Amazon, so that's a current product for $21.20. And they're sold other place. I see them as high. I'm looking at my computer here because I got my computer up. I'm seeing them as high as $50. Just new. Well, here's one still in the box for $65 on eBay. And the thing I noticed about these, and the reason I bring this up, I bought this a long time ago. And I bought this up because I was looking for an old vintage Ouija board. I wanted one that wasn't Parker Brothers. I wanted one that predated that may have been hand painted or something. I might hand paint my own. But if I went to my high-tech keyboard, if I went to Etsy, and I was looking on there for Ouija boards. I thought, well, maybe someone like hand painted one. Does this show my the last viewed? Because that would have been on there. Forgive me for the pause. I should edit these out, but I'm not an editor. Boy, I look at a lot of Disney stuff. How come it doesn't show my Ouija board searches? Watches, hats, t-shirts, watches, hats, t-shirts. Okay, Ouija board. Let me look at this because I want to know what the price was before I talk about that. How do you spell a Ouija board? Ouija board. And the same plate comes up. Oh, there it is right there. The same plate comes up, and the only difference is it has a little planchette, like a little tiny one like this big, that you can put in there and it's supposed to like point. So it comes up as an Ouija board for $32 on this user's page. On other users' pages, $42. So even if you bought it at the new price of $21, well, there's some cool Ouija boards on there that I never saw before. Anyway, yeah. So even if you bought this at $21, and the little wooden planchette looks like they made it on either a laser etcher or they just cut it out and painted it. Yeah, it's a tidy profit. But I go to eBay, and on eBay these things are going for like $50, $60. There's one there for $65, and it says vintage. I'm like, how can it be vintage when you can still buy them? This looks like a Hobby Lobby type sticker on here. So you can still buy them. And just watch out. Just if you see something and you're like, oh, I should pay this $65 for this. No, look it up. Again, I paid 50 cents for mine. But yeah, I never thought of using this as a Ouija board. I thought of maybe putting an arrow in it and making like a code disc out of it. But now that I think about it, like, oh yeah, it might make a Ouija board. But yeah, it's just something curt. And if you go to the website where it's made, it's just listed as an alphabet plate. I guess they want you to do whatever they want with it. But I just thought that was interesting, and I didn't want to make a whole video on that, so I thought I'd tack that onto this one. And another thing, before I close out on a sad note, a friend of mine passed away. They lived in New York City, and I've known him for 16 years. He will be missed, and yes, they were part of the treasure hunting group, but they never participated in the forums and stuff. But I met them while doing the treasure trove, and then we became close. And yeah, it's really sad to hear their passing. But yeah, that's never easy. But my heart goes out to the family and friends, and they will be missed. Anyway, I'm trying not to lose it. I lost it the other day when I heard the news. So. So here's someone just selling. They put a coffee pot in it. Does the coffee pot have an arrow on it? Oh, the coffee pot also has an alphabet on it. So anyway, that's interesting. Anyway, just lots of things going on. I've been TikToking, and I hate that I can't write my second book because I've got to have the token in place so I know what to code. And hopefully this summer I'll be able to get to where I want to go and do that, because there's a certain place in the whole United States that I want to go to and do that. Otherwise, not much else going on. From what I understand, there's nothing going on in the chase. I was, and forgive me because I'm just evil, but I was gonna take a screenshot of the Netflix homepage and put a picture of Forrest Fenn up there and make up a title and stuff and just like say, oh look, it finally came out. So if you see that, know it's a joke, and I still may do that for the people that don't watch my videos. But yeah, it's I was at work one night and I was like, man, it would be so easy to Photoshop a Netflix page. And yeah, that's how evil I am. I've done that before. So anyway, I'm off. My plans for today include TikToking all day and then doing some TikTok stuff. So if you're on TikTok, don't look me up because I use a secret name there. But yeah, just take care and tell the people around you that you love them before it's too late. So take care, everybody, and if I can find my cursor. So long, all you boils and ghouls. Take care.